If you're not already using captions in your online videos, whether it be YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, if you're not using captions, you are missing out on potential views and engagement. In this video, with the help of my friends over at rev.com, I want to talk about why you should be using captions, how I've been using Rev to do my captions, and some of the things that you can be doing to increase your views and engagement. And there comes the sun. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older, but I absolutely love captions. And I know I'm not alone in this. I'm sure there are a ton of you out there who leave your Netflix captions on all the time. If that's you, hit that like button. But most of us who are making content for YouTube or TikTok or Instagram aren't making shows for Netflix, unless of course you are Matt Diavella, in which case, hey Matt. So then why should we still be getting proper captions done for our videos? Well, first and foremost, it adds to the accessibility of your videos. A lot of people use the terms subtitles and captions interchangeably, but there are actually differences between the two. Captions are intended for people who can see the videos but may have trouble hearing it. Subtitles, on the other hand, are for people who can hear the videos but don't understand the language that the video is spoken in. So by adding captions or subtitles to your video, you are broadening the audience who can be watching and understanding your video. But here's the thing, it's not just to make it more accessible for people who can't hear or understand your video, it's also to make it more accessible for those who might not be in a situation where they can have their sound on. In fact, a study by Verizon Media shows that 80% of people who watch with captions on aren't deaf or hard of hearing. And 80% of people said they are more likely to watch a video in its entirety if the captions are available. So if someone is out in public, on a bus or in a waiting room or something like that, and they don't want to have their sound on because that would definitely make them that person, if there are captions available, it'll make the difference between whether they will watch the whole video or just scroll past, or maybe even say like, I'll watch that later, which we all know basically equates to that video never getting watched. And if the algorithm sees your video getting watched all the way through rather than being skipped, you are way more likely to be suggested to more viewers. Something else that you might want to consider for more mobile-only platforms like TikTok or Instagram or even YouTube Shorts is burned-in captions. And I'll explain how to do this on Rev in a bit, but essentially what it means is that the captions will actually be printed onto a video file, so when you upload that, they're on there no matter what. This is great for those platforms because a lot of them don't offer the option to have your own captions where the person can turn them on or off. This is great for something like TikTok because people scroll really quickly, and if they see someone talking but they can't hear what they're talking about, they're likely to scroll by. But if they see the burned-in captions and they're intrigued by whatever it is that you're saying, they're more likely to either turn on their sound and listen, or just read the captions and watch the rest of the video. And I can say this with some certainty because I know it's worked on me in the past. Okay, so we've got accessibility, we've got pleasing the algorithm, we've got catching people's attention, but did you know that adding captions can actually improve your search engine optimization? YouTube and Google look at all sorts of information to try and figure out what your video is about. It looks at the title, the thumbnail, the description, the tags, and it even analyzes what you say in the video. But if you've ever watched YouTube with the auto-generated captions turned on, you'll know that they are very often very wrong. So by adding proper, correct captions to your video through rev.com, you're not only giving it more information, you're also giving it the right information. For me, this is actually a big deal because I say a lot of technical terms and model names and those kinds of things, and if people are searching for those terms or for those names, it's much more likely that they'll find my video if YouTube has the correct information. For example, if I say Sony a7S III and YouTube thinks I said Sunny 87 SBs, YouTube is going to think that my video is about someone who eats sports trophies, not a camera. And Rev actually has a spot where you can add a glossary of specific terms like this to make sure that they're going to get it right. Honestly, I'm pretty lazy most of the time, and Rev seems to nail it regardless of whether I use the glossary or not. But now, with the proper A7S III in the captions of my video, when somebody searches for A7S III, YouTube is going to be like, hey, Dunna said A7S III like 900 times in his video. We should probably show this to that person. Okay, hopefully at this point I've convinced you that you should be doing captions on your videos. Let's head over to rev.com and I'll show you how I use it to get my captions, as well as some cool tricks that you can use for yours. Okay, so once you have an account over at Rev, this is what you're gonna see when you sign in. And the first thing that I do is go over to place new order. And then you've got options here. We've got transcriptions, automated transcriptions, captions, or subtitles. Generally, I'm using captions, so I'm gonna click that. Then we're going to see this window here where we can choose where our video is coming from, either upload a file from a URL, or we can do YouTube or Vimeo, which works really well for me because a lot of my stuff is coming from YouTube. So as long as you've got a video up there and it's either set to public or unlisted, then you can do it this way. So for example, I haven't done captions for my Back from the Hospital video yet. It's already public, so we're going to choose that one. Add selected to cart. It's a 10-minute video, so it's looking at $11. And it also gives you an estimated delivery, but you can also choose to rush your order by adding $1 per minute. So if we do that, it's going to now be $21, but it'll be done in 3 hours. Because I'm impatient, I'm going to do that today. Then we have this option for burned in captions. Now I don't want this specifically on this video, but I'll show you how that works afterwards. And then we've also got the option to add foreign language subtitles at $3 per minute per language. So if you know that your videos are going to be hitting another market, you can do this, although you can't do it with the rushed order. This little option down here, automatically deliver files back to YouTube, is really cool because they will automatically attach the captions once they're done back to your YouTube video. And then if you have any other specific file formats that you want, you can do that down here. I'm going to hit checkout. Obviously, this is where you would do your checkout information and pay. And then once you paid, you're going to see this order confirmed page, and it's going to give you some options. So like I said, we can add a glossary. So let's say we want to add A7S3, and then you can add definitions to the terms if you want. You can also save different glossaries. So I've got one called camera terms, just things that are going to help the person who is actually doing your captions to make sure they're getting things right. We can also add an entire script if you want to, and then you can add speaker names in here. So I could have Dunna, and I could have Big Bob. Seems like someone I would do a collaboration with. And then if we hit go to my files, we'll be back on this page here, and we see that our file here is in progress. And then I've got this folder that I've created just to store all my old ones that I've already done in the past. And I'm actually going to do one more here too. So we're going to drag and drop a file, and I'm going to do burned in captions with this one. And what the heck, I'm going to rush my order too. All right, so we've got 2 orders now. We've got one that's for YouTube and one that is for Instagram stories that we're going to do the burned in captions on. So all we have to do is wait to get an email that says they're done. This is obviously the ideal time to secure the cup. Maybe some chocolate. That was quick. All right, so we're back here. You can see that the status is set to complete, and I can't promise this for everybody, but they were very fast this time around. The shorter video only took them like 6 minutes, and the longer video only took like 40 minutes, so they're pretty quick. But once you've got your files, you can click here, and then it gives you the option to edit your captions. When we click on the file, we'll get this player here. You can see your captions are down below as well as underneath here so that you can set the start and end point of them. You can watch through and see your captions and how they're going to show up. And then on the left-hand side here, we've got our options for kind of editing and stuff, spell check, find and replace, keyboard shortcuts, and then we've got some options here like removing the gaps between captions. Basically what I do at this point is I'll watch it through, usually at 1.5 times, and I'll just watch and make sure that everything is okay. If there's anything that comes up, let's say that I wanted this to be 8-11 or something like that, I can do that. That's not the case. It is actually 811, just how they have it. But you can go through and you can change anything that you want, and then you can hit upload to YouTube up here if you want it to go straight back to YouTube, or you can hit download and you can get an SRT file. And that's basically the process that I use for my YouTube videos. And then if we click the other one here, this one is designed specifically for Instagram. So of course the captions are perfect. And now when I go up to my download here, I'm going to get some extra options. So we've got SRT, we've got the video, and then I've got additional options here. So we can use the default styling that they give, or we can customize. And when we hit next, now we can customize all of our captions. So we've got different fonts here, make them a little bit bigger. Let's bold them. You can do no outline, you can do an outline, you can do a wrap. Got our background color here, different colors for the actual text itself. And then you can also set this as your default style setting. And then we can hit download. And then we get this window that says they're making the video file, and then they'll let us know when it's available. We'll get an email that looks like this, and we'll be able to download the video file. Now, I've been talking a bunch about burned-in captions as kind of one of the extra features that they have on Rev on top of their transcription, subtitles, and caption services. Ever since I've been using Rev, they have been adding cool new features like that, so make sure to head down to the link in the description and give them a try. And as always, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know, are you already using captions? If so, why? And if you're not, how come you haven't yet? You should be. And on your way down to the comment section, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on future reviews and tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Rev for sponsoring this video and for being so darn awesome. And I'll see you next time. Oof.